in Santa Barbara, I mean, you have the go-to medical spa there. So what are you offering? Who's the typical patient? What are some of the procedures you do?
Well, our background in lasers is interesting. Number one, I have a textbook on it because we started very early. We started laser work in 1982, where we had a laser institute, which Santa Barbara may seem an odd place for that. But basically, if you look, you'll see the free electron lasers at UCSB, UC Santa Barbara. You'll see that different companies are that shoot stuff out of the sky with lasers. Because Vandenberg Air Force Base is right up the street. And that's where, obviously, the missiles on the West Coast go up. So, and at UCSB, if you look, there's 7 Nobel winners in physics, to the point where we're sort of a center for laser work. And early on, we started building our own lasers, so I have a great deal of knowledge about that. So we always have worked with different companies to pick out the very best machinery and worked with them, often in terms of development. So what I like, there's several things that I think are necessary for a Medi-Spa. One is intense pulse light, because light can do several things. It can be transmitted through a window. It can be reflected, like light off a mirror, can be absorbed and heat produced. So what we want to do is heat the things that we don't want, wrinkles, brown spots, red spots, etc.
So this intense pulse light just kind of gets rid of the reds and the browns.
Yeah, it's very good with that.
Okay.
And we have the very latest. Acne scars and, uneven cosmetic wrinkles and everything work well with radio frequency microneedling. We have many different types of that. We have InMode's machine, we have EndyMed's machine, and that can be very useful, and sometimes we'll do them together. LaserWorks CO2 and erbium type of lasers can remove the wrinkles and smooth the face. So we have an awful lot of stuff. We also have things that'll tighten up the muscles and the stomach. And we have devices, ultrasound, we have radio frequency devices that you wear that tighten the skin. And these are all good to a certain point on the right patient who isn't ready for a facelift, for instance, or isn't ready for body work.
So the laser, just so I understand how it's working. So it's heating the underlying tissues, and then your body what? Repairs itself with collagen?
Well,
that's like you're laying down new collagen?
Well, what we're doing is putting energy under the skin in one way or another. When you're talking about tightening and laying down collagen, you can do that from the top down with a laser, or you can have a micro needle go in and shoot radio frequency off and work from the bottom up. And there are lots of ways to handle it, or you cannot injure the skin at all and aim for the reds and the browns and that type of thing. Many people can flush and blush, and that's very embarrassing. It's a pre-rosacea or rosacea type of thing. They can get a red nose and cheeks and all of that. Intense pulse light is good for that. It targets those colors. Brown spots from the sun. The sun-damaged Caucasian person in California is a typical person, but it also happens if you're Hispanic.
So can you take a person, let's say 50 years old, let's just use 50, man, woman, and you do some of this laser stuff, you give them a reversal of like 4 or 5 years in their appearance. Could you keep them there for how long? If they do this religiously, every 6 months, every
You have to remember what you're treating is the skin. You can get a little bit of tightness, but not a lot from the devices. And people will go after that time and time and time again. So I think up to maybe 45, 50, you can do a lot with it. There's not much sagging. But after that, then you're looking at surgery. The other thing that we use for the skin is a thing called definage. And essentially, defensins are interesting, and that's what's in definage, because there are 2 cells that make your new skin. One is our basal cells.
So this definage, by the way, is a topical
cream.
Okay.
And
it's a stem cell cream.
Not exactly.
Produces more stem cells.
It stimulates stem cells to make new basal cells, which are the cells that regenerate the skin. And normally when we do that, our basal cells do it, but they get older and they mature, and they also mutate and can form skin cancers.
Okay.
But there's a cell that's in reserve and hibernating that only comes out if you cut yourself, burn yourself, get an infection, and that's called the LGR6 stem cell. And it initially makes your skin, then goes into hibernation. Defensins are a peptide that stimulates that cell to make new skin. So that's one of the things that we use in combination with all the other Medi-Spa stuff that we do.
With this at-home skincare.
Yeah, and it's marketed nationally. We're not the only people using it, obviously, but it really works.
How often do people come in, by the way, to get touched up? The people that are in the know that look with great skin? What's the inside scoop there? Are they doing something like every 3 or 4 months? These inexpensive touch-ups? What are they doing?
Well, we can position the foundation of your skin and get rid of the wrinkles with lasers, but you really do have to maintain it.
Okay.
And it depends. If you're out in the sun a lot, you need to protect yourself, of course. But we'll see people come in, and it just depends. Some people come in every year. Some people will be pretty consistent doing different things. It just varies with the person and how much they want to keep themselves up.